Cue the creepy music.
Hello and welcome to the Witching Hour, where a disturbed author tortures another disturbing author from Raventail Publishing about how they torture their readers. My name is Greg Stumbo, author of the Generation Z series, among others.
My guest today is Adam Hulse, author of the Tales of Tupuka. I can never pronounce that. How do you pronounce that?
That's pretty much it. Tales of Tapuka is what I
Okay.
say.
Excellent, excellent. And you've got a new book out now as well.
Yeah. The Growth came out in May.
I love it. I love it. We'll be diving into that. And joining us today to help torture Adam is Tony DeBona. He's an independent author, and he's also a fan of some of the Raventail works. So we're going to be getting his input on a few things and hopefully getting underneath Adam's skin, kind of like, the growth gets over top of it. So, all right, Adam, let's cut to the chase because we only have so much time. I don't have time to get into all the details. I want to know how it ends. Tell me how it ends.
Greg, I would rather punch you in the mouth than tell you the ending. I don't even know.
Okay, fair enough.
And that's that. That's the end of that bit.
All right.
Let's just say it gets progressively worse. And this is, as usual with my stuff, there's a lot of death, and probably don't hold out for a happy ending.
Well, yeah, a happy ending in a horror novel is that's a lot to ask for. So,
yeah. I'm just not that guy.
No. Having read your stuff, you were definitely not that guy. What's your favorite part
of the current and of the Growth?
Yeah.
I can have some minor spoilers here, can't I?
Oh yeah. This is everybody's sitting on pins and needles waiting to hear from you.
So the two main characters really are Kevin, who's a kind of failed scientist, and Tax, who's a local vigilante. So they're kind of thrown together because of this disaster. They basically get caught by a religious cult called the Brotherhood of Change and Growth, who believe that this growth creature that is killing thousands of people is actually doing God's work. And it's led by a character called Michael Applewood, whose name is a variation of Marshall Applewhite, who was the leader of the Heaven's Gate cult.
Yep.
So Kevin and Tax get taken prisoner, and they're taken to the top of this hotel structure that's not finished. And when they look down, the growth is present in this large drainage ditch. And it's basically my favorite part because the scene's inspired by the Sarlacc pit from Return of the Jedi.
Oh, I love that.
Because when I was a kid, I just loved that whole scene where you had kind of heroes and villains, but you also had this bit of the environment that was just like, if you fell in, that was it. And it was just taking people out. So I wanted to put something in, and that was just a good opportunity to use that influence within the story. And I just like the way that it worked, kind of roughly midway through that you had this scene, which
brilliant.
meant a lot to me.
So you got a Sarlacc pit, a scientist, a vigilante, a cult, all just kind of coming together right there. I mean, I can't think of anything better.
It's some pretty good action scenes there, especially seen as the other main character. She is an ex-Olympic boxing champion. She kind of stumbles across the whole situation and kicks some ass, basically. And we have a kind of big fight that happens on this kind of abandoned hotel, and the pit's there, and there's a lot of death.
Oh, I love it. Get that body count up.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
All right. So I got to ask this. Do the voices in your head ever fall out in public?
Yeah. All the time. Yeah. Everyone in my life just accepts that I'm weird. So if I'm not, if I'm not talking in as a different character or with a different accent, then they ask there's something wrong with me. They say, "Are you all right today? You're a bit quiet."
So awkward is the norm for you then, is what?
I was the class clown. I'm the work weirdo, but it works for me. People kind of expect that from me, and that's my kind of baseline that they're used to. So yeah, even my girlfriend, expects it from me. She's only happy if I'm making up stupid songs and completely different accents. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, it's you use a lot of different types of characters in your books. I mean, it's not. You get people from all over, and so it's not just a straight rank and file. I've got a hero, I've got a heroine, I've got a villain. In your Cursed Cave series, you had those guys all over the damn world.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely brilliant. And
thank you.
I was kind of, I expected a lot of things to be going on, in the caves when I started the books. And, and next thing I know, in California, and then we're, having to get away from California on a yacht. And I haven't had a chance to dive into the growth yet, but I'm fairly confident that you've got a broad diversity of characters in there as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think horror allows me to explore the diversity of society and the melting pot. And what interests me is how humans react to the most stressful situations. It's no coincidence that I started taking my writing seriously during the pandemic and lockdown, when you started seeing who the good people were, who the selfish people were, and who the kind of evil people were,
Yeah, you start to see the cracks. Yeah.
Yeah, the virus was there. There wasn't much you could do about that, but it was how people reacted in a lot of unusual ways. And also for my own mental health, to give myself something creative to do, it was important for me. But yeah, that's the one theme through all my books, is that a lot of diverse people representing a kind of truer society, that not everyone's good all the time, not everyone's bad all the time. And sometimes the people that you expect to help are the people that let you down, and also the people that are so-called, criminals, etc., might actually do something heroic.
Yeah, that's beautiful, because you do actually encapsulate what the real world is, rather than just running with, the good guy's supposed to do all the good things and the bad guys. People are not that cut and dry.
Yeah, exactly.
And and which neighborhood you grew up in doesn't necessarily determine whether or not you're a good person.
Yeah.
So, 100%. Especially once you put them under pressure. That's a beautiful way to go about it. And it really does. That does come through in your writing in ways that I just don't see from other authors, and you dive right into the action. There's, and you do some brilliant action scenes. It's really like watching a movie, except with words, but it's the character interactions that really pushes you up over the top. So, that's one of the things I want the listeners to know. So, when they go to grab your books, they should already know you're diving into a real world scenario, no matter how bizarre, the surface may be.
I think one of the things that I glean from that conversation is too many people think things are black and white when it's mostly gray, right? So really, what do you do in a stressful situation? Because everything's changed. In who you are will come out, the real you, I think, in those situations. Are you really a coward when you're talking very boisterous and you have a lot of bravado, but in the end you fold like a tent? That's the cool stuff. And I think when a person can explore that side of society and create characters that represent that, cool stuff, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, that's what interests me, and I hope that's what interests the readers, is that exploration, that deep dive into the psyche of human behavior and what happens when that pressure is applied. Definitely.
Yeah, well, let's face facts, man. All the readers have to do is look at your reviews. All of your reviews are stellar. I don't think anybody has touched a single work of yours that hasn't just gushed about it. So that's really telling right there, because reviews, you're hiding behind a keyboard. Nobody,
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna, I will die on the hill that your reviews are one of the primary reasons people should consider your books. That's
and that's real people. That's real readers writing those reviews. Those aren't professionals, right? That's the average Joe who picked up your book. That's who I listen to.
Yeah, exactly. That's who I'm interested in. Certainly more, they're going to give an honest opinion, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Stupid question. Are you a plotter or a pantser?
That's the easiest question. I would love to be a plotter, and I would say my writing style and my writing, everything about my writing, from trying to plot, it's chaotic. That is the one word. I cannot plot. I think I can, and I've, and and I've got a lot of, met a lot of great people through Twitter in particular, and some amazing advice, and they could sit me down and tell me exactly what to do, and I need to just be putting those words down and then just keep messing with it like a big lump of clay, and just keep messing with it until it gets something kind of the shape that I want. I'll keep ripping bits off it and smoothing it out. But I really tried with the growth. I was like, I'm not doing this again. After the trilogy, I was like, Adam, you need to, come on, be professional about it. And I think I was like looking out of the window at like a squirrel, just like, oh, yeah, and just didn't do anything. And if I try and plan, I'm just it's so counterproductive for me. I just need to just fly into it, and I think a lot of people say like my stuff's fast paced and there's action. And I think it is literally because sometimes I'm sprinting through, and I go back and I clean it up, and it's not like I'm just rushing and trying to get it out there quick, but the initial, that kind of first draft is, I'm blah, 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 blah. And I'm just,
you open the floodgates and you don't even bother slowing the keyboard down. Just let it go. And so basically your your initial draft is your plot. So you're a total pantser, man.
Yeah, 100%. I'll never change. I tried to kid myself, but no, I'll never change.
Well, you know what? I'm going to speak for the future readers and say thank you for that. Don't change what you're doing, man. Now here's the awkward question. Do you consider yourself an author or a writer?
See, I remember before I got published, that I read someone saying that, everyone's a writer, but when you've been published, you're an author. So I was like, okay, so I need to be once I've had something published, I can say I'm an author. And it seems like such a dirty swear word. If you ever say that you're an author, everyone's like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
It's like, so now I'm just like, now even when I'm like screaming it internally, people are like, what are you? I'm like, I'm a writer. In my head, I'm like, author. But
I've earned it, damn it.
Yeah, I think I even said like some general tweet about authors, and and a friend replied and said, "Oh, an author is what my father calls me, but I'm only a writer," as if it's some sort of Sunday name. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a label, I suppose.
It is. It's just it always just seems to be a point of contention, and
yeah.
And for some people, it's completely interchangeable and it means nothing. And for other people, it's like, oh no, this is your title.
Yeah. I think maybe just something the writing community likes to argue about, but
because they don't have 5,000 other things.
Yeah, well, if there's not those 5,000 things, they'll find something somewhere. So I don't get really. If people want to call themselves just a writer, or people want to call themselves an author, I'm not bothered. If they want to say that I'm an author, or no, I'm just a writer, I'm not bothered either. It's not going to change the quality of my work.
Well, and that is true. All right. So I gotta ask this because I deal with this myself. Do you laugh while you're killing off your characters?
No, because usually I'm too worried about. I know I'm going to have to explain why. To either my girlfriend or some of my friends who'll read it. I get quite a lot of abuse for them kind of hanging the hopes on characters, and then they suddenly get horrifically killed, and that and I do it. I don't know why I do it. I can't stop doing it. I think there's something wrong with me. But I can I've got to a point now where I realize there's this accountability that people do actually send me messages and say, are you kidding me? They'll just say like the character's name in capitals and be like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, so no, I don't laugh. I'm more likely to cry because I know what's coming. People are going to tell me off.
So with every stroke of the keyboard, you realize you're just closer and closer to getting writer shamed.
Yeah. I just can't help letting myself down with it. I can't help it.
But
right,
if I might interject, one of the things that's important to remember, though, is if you create a character that's so endearing to the reader that, you then kill them off, that speaks to the fact that you're creating good characters, right? You're creating interesting and engaging characters. I mean, killing them is part of the plot. It's part of the story. I mean, you're a horror writer. I mean, it's not going to end well. I mean, but the fact that if they didn't care about your characters, that would be more negative, I think.
Yeah, true. I suppose it is a nice problem to have, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So now you've got a series out, and you've started the growth, and that's probably going to be continuing on. Do you put Easter eggs in your book, in any of your books?
This is the growth. It's the first time that I've done that, and I did it as a kind of thank you for the people that had read the Tales of Tapuka trilogy. Just there's a scene in the growth where the kind of head of the British military is talking to the scientist, and he mentions that a character from the Tales of Tapuka, who is Major Glover, has been in contact with him, inquiring if he could get a live sample of the growth. And this British brigadier is going like, he's crazy. He's absolutely crazy. And as we know, if you've read Tales of Tapuka, Major Glover is trying to weaponize creatures.
Yep.
So he just kind of is mentioned that he's still trying to get his hands on things.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. All right. Now, I get questions from readers all over the country, and I've compiled the most awkward ones into a grab bag. So it's time for the grab bag of doom. All right. Jennifer from Plattsburgh, New York wants to know, have you ever killed off a character that was based on someone you didn't like?
I think I've resisted the temptation to do that. I am that spiteful a person that if I don't like you, you won't have the honor of being in my book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm just a big old pair of scissors cutting people out of my life. I'm not going to waste my time writing about you if I don't like you.
That's brilliant.
No, as we've attested to, unfortunately, my problem seems to be killing off people who I love.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that fact alone doesn't keep your wife up at night.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got the growth series started. We've got the Tales of Tapuka already finished and out there. Do you have any other upcoming projects? Anything particular for Raventail?
The growth is basically a 2-book series. I didn't want to get tied to a trilogy or anything more with where I'm at the moment. So when I was asked to do a kind of creature feature book, I agreed to do 2 books. So the growth is going to be 2 parts, and the second part I'm working on in my own chaotic way at the moment. It's early days of it. I do have some things jotted down that need to occur that have sprung up on me at the worst possible moments when I've had to write notes on my phone.
It's always, right in the middle of it's like, I can't lose this.
I know. I amazed myself that I remembered that a soldier in the growth who was offered a promotion was then in this book now has a promotion. So he's gone from private to, and I was so pleased with myself because I had actually remembered that continuity for once.
You didn't have to go back and reread the entire
I was
book.
I remembered. But yeah, so I'm thankful for Raventail that I'm writing this final part, and it's really going to go out with a bang.
Nice. Excellent. We've got a little bit of time here. Did you have any random questions that you wanted to throw at me? It's your chance to make me squirm a little.
Well, yeah, I've got 2 questions for you.
Oh,
actually.
No.
So in your Generation Z series, you have a group of absolute knuckleheads somehow surviving a zombie apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
I've read 3 of the books so far, and I find the lack of death disturbing. For someone who likes to kill off main characters, do you think you could teach me to nurture my characters a little more?
I don't know. I could walk you through what I do, but you're pretty swift with a knife. I don't know if I could slow you down enough. I kind of get the feeling it'd be like, you know, by the time I'm saying, "Oh wait, don't," they've already slit their throat and they've crumpled to the floor.
Yeah, probably. I really find the group of friends in that series just kind of endearing. In that you can tell that they're real friends because they're always arguing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool thing, man. That I like the ordinary and the extraordinary, and I think that's definitely what you've got in the Generation Z series. Is you've got just an ordinary group of guys in an extraordinary situation and kind of making the best and trying to find out the best plan, so to speak.
Yeah, well, and that's something you and I have in common is that I am fascinated with how people act under pressure. Because I've gotten to see a lot of it in my life, and I find myself when I meet new people kind of sizing them up based on that. It's like, what are they going to be like, if anything pops off, and you learn a lot about people.
Yeah.
So, and to me, that's just entertaining anymore.
Okay. So second question.
You're
a bar manager.
Yep.
Based on my appearance, what drink would you serve me?
Here in the States, it would be an IPA. I'd probably go with something like Wicked Weed's Pernicious.
You are good at what you do, Greg, because I do favor IPAs. I thought you was going to be way off, but you've actually. Yeah, I do like an IPA.
That's excellent.
He's good at what he does, everybody.
Thank you. All right, that's going to wrap up our time here real quick. Make sure you find Adam Hulse's books on Amazon. You can type in his name. You can find him on the Raventail website. Our show today is run through Raventail Publishing. Our producer is Trent Achey, and we've had contributions from Karen Hall and Patrick Green. So join me next time to help me torment another author from Raventail. Thanks a lot, guys.